A whisper, painted in light on the canvas of the Arctic sky, was the first thing that happened. Everything was not a roar that started everything off. When Dr. Aris Thorne first saw the phenomenon, it was not from the Goddard Space Flight Center of NASA, but rather on his smartphone, via a live broadcast from a tourist who was pursuing the Aurora Borealis in Tromsø, Norway. The show was beautiful. A swirling, menacing red that moved in a manner that was much different from the typical green. This was a wonderful thing, but it was also incorrect. On the other hand, this was the signature. His own instruments had been chatting for hours. An apparition from the past that is traveling at the speed of light at the moment. The actual term for this phenomenon is the coronal mass ejection. It may seem clinical, but it is the most violent outburst that the sun has ever thrown. This sunspot, which was the size of Jupiter, ejected 1 billion tons of superheated plasma that was entangled with a chaotic magnetic field. From sunspot A, R3664, a wound that has been festering on the surface of our star, this unique monster was formed, a harmless shower of particles that adorned the sky and prophesied what was to come. The first burst of radiation, often known as the whisper on the speed of light, had already arrived. It was still speeding across the 93-million-mile emptiness, but the main threat, the majority of the storm, was still there. At a speed of 4 million miles per hour, 1 billion tons of electric gas is driving. Impossible to stop, without a doubt. The warning was broadcast all across the world at this point. Just the beginning of the story was presented to you under the headline, "A giant solar storm is racing toward Earth." NASA issues warning. However, those who were working behind the scenes spoke a different language. In the area of technology, it was not a warning. Rather, it was a DEFCON 2 situation. It is the ticking of the clock. A bank of displays was in front of Dr. Thorne, and the visualization was progressively compressing the cold blue of the Earth's magnetosphere. It was as if a shield was collapsing under an unseen assault. In a tone that was calm yet empty, he said, "It's an event that is for the Carrington class." The room became completely quiet. An event that occurred in 1859 at Carrington. There is the standard. During that time period, it caused telegraph cables to collapse, which in turn shocked operators and caused papers to catch fire. A historical footnote that is really intriguing. At this point in time, it would be an event that would be on par with the extinction of the digital world. It would be 36 hours before arrival. Is it anything that we should be concerned about in the hours leading up to the storm? Phase 1. The calm before the storm at this moment. 24 hours before the impact, the weird animation that is suspended here is what you see. Everyone is aware of it. Static interferes with satellite television, causing it to flicker. As a tense kind of digital gallows humor, internet memes, which are about the big solar flush, go viral. There are comments issued by governments that are composed and measured, telling residents not to panic and to be ready for possible temporary disruptions to power and communications. However, the astute ones have already begun to take action. The graceful shutdown methods are first used at data centers located in Scandinavia and North America, which are directly in the path of the storm. Putting a cherished supercomputer into a coma that is caused by medical professionals in the hope that it would be reactivated. When the world returns to its normal state of mind is analogous to this. As traders attempt to secure positions before the global ledger might possibly go empty, the financial markets are experiencing a flurry of activity. There is a possibility that you may have a little sense of worry, as well as the impulse to stock your supply of canned foods and petrol in your vehicle. It would be okay if you did. In the next 24 to 48 hours, we will be experiencing Phase 2. The arrival. There is no sound of an explosion when it arrives. Rather, there is the sound of ... nothing. The high-frequency radios that are used by airlines and shipping companies will, first and foremost, disintegrate into shrieking static, which will cause aircraft flying over the seas to be interrupted in the middle of their sentences. As a result, the most modern satellites, which are the eyes that provide us with worldwide communications, global positioning systems, and weather forecasting, will start to fall, their fragile electronics being burned by the assault of particles. The map app on your phone will rendering you lost. Our financial transactions will be governed by exact time, but it will be stuttering. The main show, however, is going to be in the skies. It is the auroras. The poles will not be the only place they may be found. Rome, Tokyo, Cairo, and Mexico City will all be in the line of fire in their wake. An ethereum, heavenly curtain of violet, green, and blood red, with a brightness that would allow you to read a newspaper by it at midnight. On such a massive scale, it is a sight that no human being in the annals of recorded history has ever seen. A funeral shroud for the digital age. It is a terrifyingly beautiful thing. It is the quiet apocalypse that poses the greatest threat. A further interaction between the magnetic field of Earth and the primary mass of the storm, which is a billion-ton cloud, takes place. Not only does it hit us, but it also rings us. Because of this interaction, the magnetic fields at ground level are subject to dramatically changing currents. Faraday's law of induction states that any conductor will experience an electric current if it is subjected to a magnetic field that is constantly shifting. Through the high-voltage electrical grid, the whole globe is encircled by the biggest conductor in the world. Transformers, which are gigantic, buzzing, multi-ton behemoths that are scattered throughout the countryside, will inevitably become victims of their own efficiency in an instant. They are going to have a voracious appetite for this unnatural, ground-born current, which is a DC burst of power that has never been seen before. It is similar to how the filaments in a light bulb will heat up when their copper windings are heated. They will emit a light. They are going to melt. There will be an explosion. To add insult to injury, they cannot be swiftly replaced. Putting together a single, huge transformer may take more than a year to complete. This is not a simple flickering out of the lights. In less than a minute, they go out in a series of failures, giving the impression that a whole continent has gone black. As a result of the power grids being down, anything that plugs into them will be rendered useless. The water treatment facilities are shut down. Fuel pumps are not moving at all. The refrigerator does not work. When it comes to speed, the internet is not just sluggish. It is a memory story of the human race. The narrative does not include any extraterrestrial beings or asteroids. This is a tale about the vulnerability that we all possess. It tells the tale of a surgeon in Chicago who is unable to use his life-saving equipment because it does not have a backup power source. In the same way that their forefathers did, this is the tale of a pilot who flies across the Pacific Ocean according to the stars. It is the experience of a family in Lisbon who saw the sky burn, an instantaneous severing of their link to the global world. The caution issued by NASA is not the last chapter in the saga. In the annals of contemporary history, it represents the beginning of the most significant test of human resilience that has ever been conducted. This is a compelled return to the local, to the community, and to the elements that are palpable. The competition is no longer against the storm. In fact, that competition has already been lost. In the new race, we are competing against ourselves. The digital record of our society will be erased, even if it is just for a year. How will we be able to survive with this? An invitation to compete has been extended by the sun. Our shield is beginning to buckle. The clock is now ticking, and the world as we know it is going to undergo a complete reincarnation.